So Donald Trump ended up putting out a statement on his True Social condemning the man who unalived this Ukrainian refugee here in the United States of America. And now he's facing backlash also from MAGA and other Republican Party members saying, hey, you need to stand firm with your belief that these undocumented refugees in the United States of America would probably still be alive if it wasn't for Joe Biden opening up that border. Let me know your thoughts over this way, because now all of a sudden they're like, she'd still be here if Joe Biden didn't open that border and allow her into this country. She would probably still be alive. Let me know your thoughts over this way.
Hello guys, welcome back to my social commentary. I hope you all are doing good and you are watching this video. In a harrowing and horrible act of violence, a 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee named Aina Zaruski was stabbed to death aboard Charlotte Light Rail train. The surveillance camera captured this horrible footage when a 34-year-old Debran Carlos Jr., a person with a history of violence and mental illness, attacked Zaruski without provocation. So without wasting much of your time, let's dive in straight into the video. So if today is your first time of coming across our channel, do well to subscribe to our channel, like and share the video to help the channel out, and tell us what you think about this horrible incident in the comment section.
That may cause some type of concern. Like yesterday I did get followed actually on the train.
The suspect is in custody and charged with first-degree murder. He has an extensive criminal background. Court records show he has 14 previous arrests in Charlotte alone. He served at least 5 years in prison for robbery with a dangerous weapon. In January, police arrested Brown for misusing the 911 system after he called saying man-made material controlled when he ate, walked, and talked. His mother telling CNN Brown struggled with mental illness and was living in a homeless shelter. When she heard about the arrest, she said, "I didn't think it was him." A judge has ordered Brown to be evaluated for 60 days in a local hospital. And while numbers show violent crime in Charlotte is down 25% in the first half of this year, the attack has become a political flashpoint, with Republican leaders attacking the state's Democrats for being soft on crime. The president posting on Truth Social, what the hell was he doing riding the train and walking the streets? The blood of this innocent woman can literally be seen dripping from the killer's knife. And now her blood is on the hands of the Democrats who refuse to put bad people in jail. Charlotte's mayor responded to critics late Monday, saying in a statement to CNN, "What we know is that this was a tragic failure by the courts and magistrates. Our police officers arrest people only to have them quickly released." She went on to say, "We need a bipartisan solution to address repeat offenders who do not face consequences for their actions and those who cannot get treatment for their mental illness and are allowed to be on the streets." And Aaron, the mayor, also telling us that security personnel will be redeployed for a stronger presence in the area. She also said that Charlotte police will also be increasing their patrols. And we also have to tell you that the governor of the state also weighing in on this issue, saying more police are definitely needed. He also said this is why his budget has called for increasing more police out there on the streets. Aaron?
Absolutely. Unbelievably horrific story. Jason, thank you. And next we do have
this beautiful, innocent 23-year-old young woman was a Ukrainian refugee who had recently fled her country for a chance at a safer life and a promising new beginning here in the United States of America. But tragically, a public transportation system in a major American city was more dangerous than the active war zone that she left. The president and the entire White House are praying for her family and friends during this unimaginably difficult time.
The deadly North Carolina train stabbing of a Ukrainian refugee is now being investigated by the FBI. And is the judge to blame for letting the suspect, a 14-time offender, out on the streets? On August 22nd, 23-year-old Irina Zarutska boarded a train in Charlotte and sat down in front of DeCarlos Brown Jr. Moments later, surveillance footage captured a horrifying scene. Brown seemingly repeatedly stabbed Zarutska and left her to die. Police say she was pronounced dead at the scene. On Monday, FBI Director Kash Patel posted on X saying the agency has been, quote, investigating the Charlotte train murder from day one. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy also spoke out, announcing that the U.S. Department of Transportation is launching its own investigation, specifically into how the Charlotte transit system failed to keep Zarutska safe. The White House also weighed in, calling it a failure of the justice system.
The most enraging and unacceptable part of this story is that her death was entirely preventable. DeCarlos Brown never should have been on that train that night. In fact, he should have been behind bars.
They cited Brown's long history of violent offenses, at least 14 arrests over more than a decade, including charges like armed robbery and assault. They blamed the, quote, Democratic judge who released him back on the streets following his most recent arrest in January, free to slaughter an innocent woman just months later. He was released without bond and signed a written promise to appear in court. Court records reviewed by the New York Post showed Brown's arrests resulted in charges including felony, larceny, armed robbery, breaking, assault, and making threats. Our sister station, WSOC TV, spoke to Brown's mother, who said she got an involuntary commitment order from the courts, and her son was later diagnosed with schizophrenia while under psychiatric evaluation. With a criminal past and evidence of mental illness, who is the judge who allowed Brown back on the streets? People on X are doing a deep dive into her past, and this is what they found. According to one user, Magistrate Judge Teresa Stokes is not even admitted to the state bar. North Carolina is one of 5 states in the U.S. that allows non-lawyers to serve in that role. Laura Loomer shared a TV interview of Stokes from 2021 that provided an insight into her background before serving as a judge. Stokes and her wife Anya are originally from Michigan and opened a sober sports bar to give recovering addicts a safe space to hang out in. That is now permanently closed. Stokes even said she lost her brother and nephew to drug addiction. Stokes and her wife also own Pinnacle Recovery Services, a nonprofit housing program in Michigan. Journalist Sloan Rackmuth posted multiple images showing Stokes has multiple liens and bankruptcies. On Tuesday, North Carolina Representative Tim Moore announced leading a letter calling for the removal of Stokes from office.
These were the final moments of 23-year-old Irina Zarutska before she was fatally attacked by the man sitting right behind her. It all happened on August 22, 2025, when Irina boarded a light rail train in Charlotte. Still dressed in her work uniform, she found a seat, kept to herself, and quietly scrolled through her phone. But out of nowhere, the man behind her, 34-year-old DeCarlos Brown Jr., pulled out a weapon and attacked Irina. Brown stabbed Irina 3 times, and despite all the efforts to save her, sadly, she passed away. Witnesses say they were terrified because there was no argument between the two, which would have led to the attack. Brown quickly exited at the next stop, but the police immediately arrested him and recovered the weapon. According to the police, Brown was a homeless ex-convict with a long criminal record. He also had some mental issues, and he reportedly behaved strangely since February this year. Brown now faces serious charges after investigators confirmed that the attack was completely random and unprovoked. Irina was a Ukrainian refugee who had fled her home country, hoping to start fresh in Charlotte, North Carolina. But sadly, this senseless act ended her life in a place where she thought she was safe.
So you mean tell me that someone was killed in Charlotte and it didn't make national news, and there was even a reporter that went up to the President of the United States and explained to him what happened in Charlotte on the subway, the light rail, I think they call it. I remember my mom was a psych nurse, and she told me that be careful because we're going to be walking amongst the mentally ill once all these hospitals close. In Butner, Dorothea Dix, things along that nature, many more hospitals, they closed down, and there's nowhere to send these people with mental issues. He had to be mentally ill. He pulled out that little teeny fingernail clipper, pulled out the knife part on it, and she was attacked, and nobody noticed, nobody cared, it was quiet as I don't know what after the incident had happened. But what I'm getting at is that mentally ill needs to be addressed. It's horrible in the United States right now. It's horrible in the homeless shelters. And I know because I worked at one, and 90% of the people coming through the single side were mentally ill. There ain't no solution. I don't have a solution, but it's a fact. And this girl moved here from the Ukraine to discover the United States does not take care of the mentally ill. That's all.
But the real question is, are y'all gonna vote tomorrow? Y'all all on the internet, all under the shade room or the on-site comments, all at the TMZ. But are you gonna vote tomorrow at 6 a.m.? There is an election in Charlotte, and all that rigmarole, yang that y'all on the internet talking about, it don't mean nothing if you're not gonna take your ID to the polls at 6 a.m. and report and do your duty. We have primaries. You do know that. That means that you eliminate the people that you don't like to get down to the people that you do like, so you can vote for those people or not vote for those people in November. See how that works, you know? So all that bitch y'all talking, that's fine. That's great, actually. But what are you going to do about it? My guess is probably nothing, but run up some views or something like that, right? Anyway, I know what I'm gonna be doing. Y'all know how I roll, honey. I don't miss an election, baby. You can pull my record. You know it's public information to see who people vote for and how often they vote, right? But I be out here in these streets, baby, okay? But anyway, RIP to the lady, but y'all, this ain't the first situation that we've had like this in Charlotte, and it won't be the last.
This is a tragic story, but needs to be addressed. And because of left liberal lunatics and left liberal cities letting out fucking scumbags like this guy on the left that have been arrested 14 times, whether you have a mental illness or not, the 12 judges that sentenced this man didn't realize that he doesn't belong out in fucking society. And what he did to this poor girl, this young lady on the right, this beautiful young girl with a future ahead of her, Irina Zarutska, fled from Ukraine. Remember that fucking war when we had a President Zelensky dancing around like some fucking puff every day in front of us while we were giving him billions of dollars, but hasn't said a fucking word about this thing? Remember that fucking clown? Well, this guy was released out of jail a year before his sentence was up under the Biden administration. And he brutally murdered this poor young lady who fled in 2022, who was getting off her shift at a pizzeria and was just happy to be in America because she was given a chance and an opportunity. She was on her phone, and this is a public service message to people alone. Don't ever sit with somebody sitting behind you in public transportation. There's too many fucking lunatics that have been let out into society. Nothing can come from behind you. Always have somebody out in front of you. So this poor girl, 22, going home, probably exhausted, making minimum wage, is on her phone, and this lunatic, premeditated, malicious, I won't show the video, it's too gory, stabbed her and killed her right on a train in broad daylight. Then took off his shirt, wrapped it up, and got off the train. This happened on August 22nd. Today is September 8th, and you haven't heard a goddamn fucking word from the left liberal media because it doesn't push their agenda. That's despicable, and it's unjust, and it's very telling, and it's disgusting. There needs to be people held accountable for this, and the media should be telling every story. Now, I'll ask you this. If this was a white kid who stabbed a black girl from the Ukraine, how fast do you think that would have been on fucking TV? This is disgusting and bringing us to divide us. These people, black, white, no matter what, need to be locked the fuck up so they don't hurt young, beautiful girls who have no future anymore like this one.
I just give my love and hope to the family of the young woman who was stabbed this morning or last night in Charlotte by a madman, a lunatic. Just got up and started. It's right on the tape. Not really watchable because it's so horrible, but just viciously stabbed. She's just sitting there. So they're evil people. We have to be able to handle that. If we don't handle that, we don't have a country.
So guys, thank you for watching our video. We really appreciate. So Irina Zarutska, who fled the war in Ukraine and seeking safety in the United States of America, was remembered by friends and family as an individual that is very artistic and compassionate at heart. So her tragic death has led to federal charges against the brand, which includes death penalty. This also calls for attention to enhance security in public transport. So guys, thank you for watching our video. We really appreciate it. So do well to tell us what you think about this particular video in the comment section. And if today is your first time of coming across our video, do well to subscribe to our channel, like and share the video to help the channel out, and tell us what you think about this video in the comment section. You're welcome.